our lecture when we were discussing functions of strategic human resource management. So that we have already discussed five main functions of strategic human resource management: organizational re-engineering, organizational effectiveness, effectiveness of HR practices. So all these functions of strategic human resource management we discussed yesterday. So now we will be starting with role of HR manager. What is the role of HR manager under strategic human resource management? In our previous lectures, we had discussed the role and functions of HR manager under human resource management. Now we will be discussing the role of the same HR manager under strategic human resource management. Some of the functions are same and some of the functions are newly added under strategic HRM. Now the first function is policy maker. Now earlier when we were discussing human resource management, it was not there. Now it is there in strategic human resource management. Policy maker. Yesterday and day before yesterday, when we started discussing about strategic human resource management, we discussed that it is combination of two terms, strategy plus human resource management. Strategy, we all know that it is policy which is framed or which is made by the topmost people of the company. So earlier it was thought that it is the job of finance people, it is the job of marketing people, or it is the job of operation people to frame the policies or to make the policies or strategies for the organization. Later on, it was realized that as it is the job of human resource to complete these tasks or strategies or policies or targets, so it will be better if officials from human resource management are also involved in strategy making. And that was the start of strategic human resource management. So when we talk about policy maker, it means that human resource management is now involved in policy making of the organization. Not only the policy which is related to human resources of the company, but also the policy which is related to target setting of the company, the strategy to be made, how the target will be achieved. Then if the company is planning for diversification, again HR should be involved there. If the company is thinking of expansion, again the HR person is involved in that policy making also. So now the HR person is not limiting his or her role to making policies which are related to welfare of the employees only, but now the HR person is involved in making policies which are better, but which are for the betterment of the organization too. So that is the meaning of policy maker. Now the person, the HR manager, is also considered as policy maker because he is responsible to frame policies for the welfare of the employees, policies related to the payment of salary, policies related to payment of say incentives and benefits, policies related to motivation, policies related to retention of the employees. So all these policies which are related to human resource, apart from that, the other policies also, the say of human resource manager is very important nowadays. So that is regarding the policy maker. Next one, administrative expert. Now this function was there in human resource management also, when we discussed the functions of HR manager under human resource management, that he should be administrative expert. Administrative expert means that all the records of the employee related to everything includes that when the employee was recruited in the organization, each and every employee's record should be well maintained in the organization. At which position he is recruited, what is his salary, how much incentive or bonus has been paid to that particular person. So all the records should be properly maintained in the organization by the HR manager, and for that he should be expert in administration. All the employees who are working in the HR manager, he should be able to direct them properly, that how they can prepare and make the record properly, make all the records, maintain all the records related to the employees working in the organization properly and up to date. That is administrative expert. Next one is advisor. Now, earlier in human resource management, we had discussed that he used to counsel the employees only. And counsel whom? Those employees who were having any problem related to their working. They used to go to the HR manager, and HR manager used to counsel them. He used to try to solve their problem. But in strategic human resource management, the role is slightly changed, or we can say it is upgraded. Now he not only counsels the employees of the organization who are having, say, a work related problem or any type of their personal problem, he is trying to counsel them on those matters, as well as he is playing the role of advisor to the top management also, as he is also involved in strategy making or policy making of the organization at the highest level. So there he is playing the role of advisor, that how many people will be required, what type of policies can be implemented for the betterment of the organization or for the betterment of the employees, how much incentives can be given to the employees, what motivational strategies can be implemented in the organization. So all these type of advices can be given by the HR manager to the top positions or top body or board of directors of the organization. So that is the role of advisor. Now, next one is he plays the role of housekeeper. Now, housekeeping, we all know that it's a job which expects that everything should in the organization should be well maintained. Everything in the organization should be neat and clean. So everywhere there should be cleanliness. So that is again the role of human resource management. Now, housekeeping plays a very important role in the organization. Earlier, many companies used to neglect that. But nowadays, as the competition is growing, housekeeping plays a very important role. Every organization should be kept neat and clean, and to check whether everyone who is involved in housekeeping or who are working in housekeeping department, whether they are working properly or not, whether they are maintaining the organization neat and clean or not, that is the job of HR manager. Now, when we say that earlier the organization used to neglect this particular aspect, and they used to give more concentration on operation part, that production should be given more concentration, as if production is increased, there will be more sale of the product and there will be more profit for the organization. Though they used to pay very less attention to the housekeeping part. But nowadays, the things have changed. Every organization now is paying lots of attention to the cleanliness of the organization also. Now, I'll share an example also. Now, there was a company, or sorry, there is a company in Ahmednagar. When I was doing my PhD, so I used to visit various companies in Ahmednagar MIDC to collect the PhD related data. When I visited a company there, when I was asking some questions to the HR manager to complete my PhD questionnaire, I came across a very, say, strange thing. And that was, that company was having discussions. They were in discussions with a German company. They wanted to make a collaboration with German company. So this thing was shared by the HR manager, because I often used to visit that company to complete my PhD thesis. So he shared a small instance that why housekeeping is so important nowadays. It was a small company and it was a manufacturing company. So they wanted to enter into collaboration, or they wanted to sign a MOU or memorandum of understanding with a German manufacturing company. So they contacted the German company and discussions were there. And almost the deal was finalized. Almost the deal was finalized. But finally, when the senior officials from the German company, they visited for sealing the deal, for signing the documents, or for making the final discussions, for doing the final discussions with the company in Ahmednagar. When they visited, they saw that two or three, please remember, only 2-3 wrappers were lying at the gate, wrappers of gutka and 1 or 2 wrappers of, say, chocolate were lying near the gate. When they entered the organization and when they saw this, they rejected the entire deal. And their say was, why they rejected the entire deal is that if you cannot provide clean environment in the organization, how you will be providing the best quality product for the customers? First, you should provide clean environment, or you should keep your company neat and clean. Then only you can think of providing quality product to the organization. If you are compromising in cleanliness of your organization, that means you may be compromising on the quality of your product also. That was the reason why the deal was cancelled. So that is how the multinational companies are paying so much of attention on housekeeping. And now all the Indian companies have also realized that they should also be paying, they should also pay lots of attention to this part, which is called as cleanliness. So because of only 2-3 wrappers that they were lying there and they were not put in the dustbin which was installed near the gate, because of that, a very important deal was cancelled. So that is why nowadays housekeeping also plays a very important role in the organization. So here it is the responsibility of the HR manager that he has to see to it that the entire organization, the end or the entire staff of the housekeeping maintains the organization neat and clean. Next one, counselor. Now, counselor is a role, we all know what is counselor. When we have some problems which we are unable to solve, we often go to a counselor who helps us with the help of his counseling to solve the problem. Same is the case, or same is the role which is being played by the HR manager in the organization. He plays a role of a counselor. Whenever a employee is having any problem related to his working life, or in some cases it may be personal also. In some cases, not in all cases, in some cases maybe personal problem also. Nowadays HR managers, as they are having knowledge of human behavior, as they are having knowledge of human behavior, they try to counsel the employees in a better manner than the HR managers earlier. In earlier days, what used to happen, that if the employee is not working, the HR manager used to send a show cause notice to that particular person. If not improving, second show cause notice, still not improving, third show cause notice, and then they used to remove that particular person. But nowadays everyone has realized the importance of human resource. Instead of removing that person, nowadays what is happening is all the organization, all the HR managers, they are trying to reach to that particular person. They are trying to contact that person. They are trying to make the person comfortable, and they are trying to listen to the problems of the employee. Earlier HR manager were used to say that we do not have any time for to solve your problem because we are very much busy with our work related issues. But nowadays HR managers are taking time out. If the employee is not coming to the HR manager, nowadays the HR managers are so open minded that they are reaching to the employees. They are trying to make the employee comfortable. They are asking the problems related to what problem he or she is facing, and they are trying to solve that particular problem, whether it is a work related problem or it is a personal problem. If possible, they try to solve that particular problem. So that is the role of counselor. Next one is welfare officer. So it's a very old type of function which is there, which we had discussed when we were discussing the functions of human resource manager, and this function is same in strategic human resource management also. Welfare officer, it is the responsibility of the HR manager to see to it that welfare facilities are properly implemented in the organization for the employees. Now, many organizations are having various welfare facilities. Under that, there can be, say, recreation facilities are provided to the employees, free meals are provided to the employees, then insurance protection is provided to the employees, free medical checkup is provided to the employees, free transportation is being provided to the employees. So all these are examples of welfare facilities. It varies from organization to organization. We cannot fix that these are the 10 welfare facilities which every organization should be providing. So welfare facilities are those facilities which depends upon organization to organization. Some organization may provide more welfare facilities to the employees, whereas some organization may provide less welfare facilities to the employees. So the HR manager has to see to it that whatever policies the organization is having, if the organization is having a policy that free meals will be provided to the employees of the organization, then the manager should ensure that the scheme is implemented in the organization. It should not happen that at the start of the year free meal starts, but after 1 month or 2 months it ends. So when a policy is made, welfare policy is made, it is the responsibility of the HR manager that the scheme or the policy or the facility is properly implemented in the organization throughout the year. So that is welfare officer. Last one is legal consultant. Legal consultant. Now here, the HR manager is expected to have knowledge of law. Knowledge of law. It is not expected that he should be expert in law as the advocates are or as the lawyers are, but he should have good knowledge about various labor laws, and he should be playing the role of legal consultant. Now, legal consultant means that suppose if the top management feels that last year there was loss to the company, so this year the company has decided that it wants to remove 40 people from the organization, 40 employees from the organization. There the HR person plays the role of legal consultant. Legal consultant means that he should be able to convey to the top management that if they have decided to remove 40 employees from the organization, what are the legal formalities which are to be completed? Without completing this legal formality, the organization is not able to remove the person from their jobs. Because now, because of various labor laws, it is not easier for the organization to remove people from their work. We are talking about existing labor laws. But now we are hearing that new revised set of labor laws will be introduced by the central government. And there, now, till now, what used to happen, that the employees are having, say, upper hand as compared to the organization. If the organization wants to remove a permanent employee from his or her job, it's a very, very difficult process. We are talking about the existing labor laws. Now it is discussed, it is being discussed, still it is in the draft stage, it is not finalized yet, that there will be revamping of various labor laws, and both employee and the organization will be given the same, say, weightage in the organization, in the laws. Nowadays, till now, more weightage or upper hand is with the employee. So it is not possible for the organization to remove employee when they wish to remove them. The organization feels that last year it was not profitable, so remove 40 people from the organization. Certain legal formalities have to be completed. And for example, that first the employees should be given layoffs. After layoffs, legal formalities should be completed with the labor commissioner's office. Then the company affairs department should also be informed about this decision. If this decision is signed by all the officials of the government, then only the removal can take place, otherwise not. And it is a very lengthy and difficult process. So when the top management decides to remove 40 people, here legal consultant, as a legal consultant, HR manager should be able to convey it to the top, to the board of directors or to the top officials of the company, that these are the problems which we have to overcome. When we will be, then only we can remove the 40 people from the organization. So it is not very easy, it is very difficult. So that is legal consultant. So whenever any legal issues are involved, he should have enough knowledge that he should be able to help the organization with those legal issues. Now that is the administrative role of HR manager. Next, now we will move on to the operational role. First role is recruiter. Now he is a person who is supposed to take care of hiring in the organization. That means recruitment and selection in the organization. He is the person. So that we have already discussed what is recruitment, what is selection, and it is only thing now what role we are talking about, that he is having a role that whosoever who will be recruited in the organization, it should be from the HR department only. So he is the person who is responsible for all the recruitment in the organization. So he plays a role of recruiter. What is recruitment? That we have already discussed. Next, he plays a role of trainer, developer, and motivator. Once people are recruited in the organization, it is the responsibility of the HR department to send them for training. And they should provide them enough opportunity for development in the organization. That also we had discussed. And he also plays the role of motivator. The employees who are not performing well, he should be able to motivate those employees, not only those employees, but the employees who are performing well. He should be able to continuously motivate them. It should not happen that he is trying to motivate only the average employees and he is neglecting the good employees or effective employees in the organization. So he should be motivator to all. Then coordinator. He plays a role of coordinator and he plays role of a coordinator in the organization. He coordinates all the activities which are planned by the organization with the welfare of the employees. Suppose the organization is planning a cricket match, that is say 5 organizations, or between 10 or 15 or 20 organizations, a cricket match is planned, then he should coordinate that. So all the coordination part is with the human resource management. He plays the role of a coordinator. Next one, mediator. Now mediator means who mediates between two parties, who tries to solve the problem between two parties. So he plays the role of mediator. Now in case the employees are having some demands, so for fulfillment of those demands, they approach the organization, but the organization reject those demands. And the demands were that they need more salary, they need more incentives. With these demands, they approach the management that they are having two demands and the organization should fulfill these two demands. The organization rejects these two demands, that we are unable to fulfill these demands because of any reason which can be shared with the employees. It can be less profit, it can be say the because of existing some problem, the demands can be rejected by the organization. Now comes the role of the HR manager. Now he has to play the role of mediator between the employees and the management, because if the situation doesn't improve, this situation may lead to strike or lockout in the organization, which will not be beneficial either for the organization or for the employees, because that will create stoppage of work, stopping of work. So he plays a mediator kind of role, where he tries to convince the employees that please reduce your demands. You have your demand is that you want this much of incentive, so please try to reduce that demand. And he will also try to convince the management that please these revised demands of the employees. So he plays a mediator kind of role. He tries to convince not only the management to accept the demands, he also tries to convince the employees to reduce their demands. Then only there can be say discussions over the demands, and then only the problem can be settled or solved. So that is the role of मीडिएटर, कि दोनों के बीच में अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो जो तीसरा व्यक्ति उस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करता है, दैट थर्ड पर्सन इज ऑलवेज एचआर मैनेजर. नेक्स्ट वन, एम्प्लॉय चैंपियन. नाउ एम्प्लॉय चैंपियन मीन्स that he is the person who is considered as a representative of the employees. So he is a person who will be fighting for the welfare of the employees in the organization. He is a person who should convince the management that if we increase the incentives, if we increase the facilities, if we increase the benefits being given to the employees, definitely employees will be more productive and it will be profitable for the organization. So he is always trying to take the side of the employees. He wants to develop the employees so that the employees become more productive and organization is also more profitable. So that is called as employee champion. He is always trying to solve the problems of the employee. He is always trying to see to it that better opportunities for self development is being provided to all the employees in the organization. So as he is taking care of welfare or development of the employees in the organization, he is called as employee champion. Next one, next type of role is called as, now this all these roles which we had discussed, like recruiter, trainer, coordinator, mediator, and employee champion, are the roles under operational roles, are covered under operational roles. Now we will talk about strategic roles. Now, as we are discussing strategic human resource management, strategic role means that he has a role in strategy formulation as well as role in strategy implementation. Now, two terms are there. One is strategy formulation and the other one is strategy implementation. Strategy formulation is making of strategy in the organization, and strategy implementation is implementing whatever strategy that has been made, that has been framed by the top management in the organization, implementing that in the organization as it is. So that is the strategic role, that whatever policy is which is being framed at the topmost topmost position of the organization should be implemented as it is. And other thing is, as now we all know that people from human resource department are included in the topmost decision body also. So though these officials of human resource department, they plays a role in strategy formulation also. So if the HR manager is playing a role in strategy formulation, strategy making, then only it will be easier for him to implement that strategy. क्योंकि जिसने strategy बनाई है वही व्यक्ति अगर strategy को implement कर रहा है तो it becomes easier. Now somebody else or somebody is preparing a strategy, the strategy doesn't know in and out of that strategy. He sometime he receives a letter stating that this is the strategy made by the top body of the organization. Now you have to implement this strategy. Now it becomes difficult because he doesn't know in and out of the strategy, as well as if he feels that the strategy is having certain problems associated with it, certain issues are involved in implementation of that particular strategy. Had it had he been to that particular body included in strategy formulation, he would have raised these issues that okay, the managing director is saying that we will prepare this type of strategy. There the HR manager, if he feels that this particular strategy will have certain issues when we will try to implement it, then he should be able to immediately raise those doubts that these are the issues involved in implementation of this strategy, that when we will be implementing this strategy, these issues can come up, so that those issues can be settled and a revised strategy can be prepared by the organization. So that is the strategic role. Now we will move on to the next topic, which is global competitiveness and strategic HR. Under that, we will be discussing recruitment, training, professional development, benefits and compensation, and ensuring legal compliance. Now we are talking about global competition. So we are not restricting ourselves to a particular country, but we are trying for global competition. So all the organizations nowadays, they are trying to trying for diversification or trying for expansion. So all the organization which wants to earn more profit, now after a particular stage, if the organization wants to grow, either they have to concentrate on diversification or they have to concentrate on, say, expansion of that particular organization. So for that, then only they can grow in the long run, otherwise their growth will come down. So for global competitiveness, recruitment and training, now that we have already discussed that what is recruitment and what is training. Only thing different is here is we have to think from the global perspective of recruitment, that if the organization is recruiting an employee in India, and if the organization is trying to set up its businesses in some other country also, whether this particular employee will be helpful for the company not only in India but in other country also. So they have to look about these perspectives. Now for recruitment and for training also, that if a person is being trained in the organization, whether the same sort of training will help the person to work effectively in other countries office also of the organization. So that is training, that is recruitment and training. Professional development. Professional development means, now when we talk about professional development, we are talking about the managerial staff of the organization. Managerial staff of the organization. Now, how professional development can take place? By deputing the managerial staff to various development programs. Now, various development programs are there which are being, say, initiated by the top country or topmost institutes all over the world. Now, Harvard School of Business is running, or Yale School, Yale Business School, they are running leadership programs. They are having leadership courses which are being offered to the top managers of the organization, that best how best they can lead from the front. What are those strategies which they can implement in their leadership styles? So there are certain courses which are then executive courses are there, which are being offered by IIMs in the country or XLRIs in the countries. So all these courses are for the professional development, because now we are not seeing that the senior official or the managerial staff of the organization will stick to a particular location or will stick to a particular country only, but we are thinking that we are training the organizations are training the employees with a thought that they should be able to work in the other countries also where the organization is having their businesses. Now, the next one is benefits and compensation. So benefits and compensation should be given to the employees on those basis that more benefits, more salary should be offered to the employee, but it should be correlated with the job of the employee. It should not happen that too much of salary is being offered to the employee beyond the worth of that employee or worth of that particular job. And it should not also happen that less salary is being offered to the employee or to a particular job. Last one is ensuring legal compliance. When we are talking about global competition, we have to, that means all the organization, they have to see to it that they are complying with the laws of not only Indian laws, but they need to comply with the laws of that country where they are planning to set up a business or where they have already started the business. So in India, if the company is having its business, they have to follow the laws related to labor laws. Whereas if the company is planning to set is planning to set is planning to set, then the company has to ensure that it is following the rules and regulation or laws which are existing in that particular country also. If they are planning to set the businesses in US laws are to be followed by the company. So we will stop here, as only 5 minutes are there. We will not be able to complete the first unit. We will try to complete the first unit by tomorrow. Thank you all for joining today's session. Tomorrow again, we will be meeting at the same time, that is 6 a.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.